There's a moment that happens more often than most people realize. A moment where someone is trying to be seen without saying a word. And if you miss it, it's gone. Not because it wasn't obvious, but because you weren't looking for the right signs. Sophia, here's the truth most people won't tell you about attraction and modern dating. Women are actually far more expressive than men think. Not louder, not more direct, but expressive in a language that's subtle, emotional, and deeply human. And if you don't understand that language, you'll walk right past opportunities, connections, even relationships without ever realizing they were there. What makes this even more interesting is this. Women are not sitting around with a rule book on how to flirt. These behaviors aren't rehearsed scripts. They are natural responses, instincts that show up when interest is there. Sometimes, even women themselves don't fully realize they're doing it. And that's exactly why so many signals get missed. Not because men are clueless, but because they're looking for the wrong kind of clarity. They're expecting boldness when the real signals are hidden in small, repeated moments. So let's slow this down and really understand what's happening beneath the surface. Because once you see it, you can't unsee it. The first sign is something so simple, yet so powerful. And it's this. She places herself where you can see her. Now, on the surface, that sounds almost too obvious. But think about it. In a crowded room, in a busy cafe, at an event where there are dozens of people, why does the same woman keep appearing in your space? Why does she walk past you more than once? Why does she suddenly end up standing closer than she needs to be? That's not random. That's intentional positioning. It's quiet, it's indirect, but it's purposeful. Sophia, what's happening here is not pursuit. It's invitation. She's not coming up to you and saying, "Hey, I'm interested." Instead, she's creating an opportunity for you to notice her and choose to step in. It's her way of saying, "I see you. Do you see me too?" And the truth is, this takes a certain level of courage because there's always a risk. What if you don't notice? But still, she moves closer. Still, she creates proximity. Still, she gives you a chance. Now, the second sign is where things become even more subtle, but also more revealing. She starts adjusting herself. Her hair, her outfit, her posture. At first glance, it might look like normal behavior. People fix their appearance all the time, right? But context changes everything. Because when it happens right after she notices you, when it happens repeatedly while you're within view, it's no longer random. It's intentional awareness. It's her silently saying, "I want to look good," especially if you're looking. There's something deeply human about this. We all want to present our best selves to someone we're drawn to. And women often express that through small grooming gestures. Running fingers through hair, checking reflection, adjusting clothing, even something as simple as sitting up straighter. These aren't dramatic actions. They're quiet signals of care and interest. And if you're paying attention, they speak loudly. Now, the third sign, this is where things get interesting, because this is where she crosses from silent signaling into interaction, but still not directly. She finds a reason to talk to you. Not always a strong reason, sometimes not even a logical one. A random question, a playful comment, a small observation about something you're doing. And if you really think about it, you might even notice that the question didn't need to be asked at all. That's because it was never about the question. It was about opening a door. Sophia, this is one of the clearest signs, yet one of the most misunderstood, because a lot of people dismiss these moments. They think, "Oh, she just needed help," or "that was just casual." But often, it's not casual at all. It's effort. It's initiative, just expressed in a softer way. And sometimes, it goes even further. A light bump as she walks past. A playful remark from across the room. A comment that feels slightly out of place, but gets your attention. These are not accidents. They are attempts to be noticed. Because here's the deeper truth. Attraction doesn't always show up as bold confidence. Sometimes it shows up as creative courage, finding a way, any way, to connect. And then comes the fourth sign. And this one tells you everything. Because this is what happens after the connection begins. She stays. She lingers. She keeps the conversation alive. Now think about this carefully. When someone is not interested, what do? They look for exits. They shorten conversations. They angle their body away. They give minimal responses. But when a woman is interested, the opposite happens. She invests. She asks follow-up questions. She introduces new topics. She stretches the moment just a little longer. Even when there's a natural reason to leave, she doesn't rush. Because she's not just enjoying the conversation, she's enjoying you. And her body reflects that too. Her posture stays open. Her feet remain pointed toward you. Her attention doesn't drift. Sophia, the body rarely lies. Where someone faces reveals where their interest is. And when everything, her words, her energy, her presence, is aligned toward you, that's not coincidence. That's connection. Now here's where everything comes together. Most men are not failing because they lack opportunity. They're missing opportunities because they don't recognize them. They're waiting for something obvious, something undeniable, when in reality, the signals are already there, repeated, subtle, consistent. And once you begin to understand these patterns, something shifts. You stop second-guessing yourself. You stop wondering, was that something or nothing? Because you start to see the intention behind the behavior. You start to recognize that attraction often whispers before it ever speaks. And Sophia, this is where confidence is built. Not from guessing, but from awareness, from understanding human behavior on a deeper level, from realizing that interest is often being shown, just not in the way you expected. And when you respond to it, when you meet that subtle invitation with presence and energy, everything changes. Conversations flow easier, connections feel more natural, and dating stops feeling like a struggle and starts feeling like discovery. Because now, you're not just hoping for signs, you're seeing them, and more importantly, you're understanding them. So the next time you're out, whether it's a crowded place or a quiet one, pay attention. Who keeps appearing in your space? Who adjusts when you're near? Who finds a reason to speak? And who chooses to stay just a little longer? Because those moments, those small, easily overlooked moments, they might be someone choosing you without saying a word. And once you start noticing that, you'll realize something powerful. You were never invisible. You were just missing the language.